Wow, I can't believe it's been so long since my last video, but I've been keeping busy during the spring, so let me show you a little bit of what I've been getting up to. So I started off the year renovating this room that we're walking through, our living room. Took quite a lot of time and effort actually, and I didn't even do it all by myself, but it turned out really nicely, way brighter and nicer than before. So walking over to our kitchen here, I got my Jobo warming up, and I'm gonna be developing a whole bunch of slide film in a little while. And speaking of film, I got sort of version 2 of my Darkroom set up that I'm gonna show you, but before I do, I'm gonna just grab a quick cup of coffee. Alright. Let's go out to check out the darkroom. So here we are. I got a hold of a really nice medium format enlarger, a Meopta Magnifax 4. Which enabled me to get set up and start printing in larger formats much sooner than I thought. I still don't have any running water or anything in here, but I got a lot of paper, new and old. I got my chemicals, I got my enlarger, and actually I'm just in right now printing some test prints from my last rolls of black and white. So let me just make you one real quick. So here it is. Nothing fancy, just a simple test print. I like to do these small prints from the contact sheets, anything that I think looks interesting, and I really like having this little artifacts that I can sort through and order in theme, and can access my print backlog for later, and yeah, pretty nice actually. And I was printing this on this old Agfa Rapitone paper, so I got like a whole bunch of old expired papers with my enlargers. This is just it's not even everything, but a bunch of unopened boxes, and I like to use these. They're all fixed grade papers, so can't really use them for anything serious, or I don't like to anyway, but they're great for making this kind of thing, basically for free. So yeah, for contact sheets, everything like that. But oh, and by the way, let me show you a little bit of the timer that I'm using. So when I got really into printing earlier in the spring, I quite soon realized the need for a f-stop timer, because I got fed up having to manually calculate all the like dodges and burns and test strips are also a pain to do by hand with a regular timer. So what else to do than to build one, because the RH Design stop clock and those timers are yeah, well, they're not that easy to get a hold of around here, and they're quite expensive as well. So so what the hell, I just built one myself. So this one does adjustment in fractions of stops. It's settable. It has a fine and a coarse setting. You can go down to right now 1/24 of a stop, and it has 2 channels that are completely independent for split grid printing, and of course like the regular like focus button, expose button. It controls the safe light, which you can't see now, but you can turn the safe light on and off here. Test strip mode, number of steps, and the interval is the current adjustment resolution. So now it's 1/24 of a stop, maybe not so useful, but you know, maybe a test strip of half stops. And a burn mode, which can be either sequential or incremental. So if you do like a one-stop burn, and then you can choose one, like another stop incrementally from there, or start over with a stop from the one stop from the base exposure. And yeah, that's pretty much what it can do right now. Pretty happy with it so far, considering especially that it's the first like Arduino based project I've done ever, and also it's pretty neat that it's so I base it on, it's not really like a standard Arduino but an ESP32 microcontroller that has actually has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So there's some pretty neat stuff that I'm planning to do, like having wireless remotes and maybe, you know, wireless foot switch, yeah, stuff like that. Light meter, color analyzer would be neat. And yeah, I mean, I was planning to do this for quite a while actually. I already had all the parts that I bought, you know, sometime after last summer, but now I really felt like I had the need for it, so I spent a couple of nights. It was actually quite quick to build. And yeah, it's really improved my workflow and the speed I'm working at in the darkroom. So I'm super stoked about it. And but I'm gonna put this one in the wash, and since I don't have any water in here, I have to go out here. For now, in our utility room in here, I got this. I got just a tray with a tray siphon set up, some water filters, and I'm using water from a well that's not it's not good to drink, but with some filter on it, it's yeah, it's nice for washing prints. But yeah, let's move on. Go around the back. Ooh, bright sunlight. Contrast from the dark room. Spent care of the garden, building up these boxes for growing stuff. We haven't self-sufficient on vegetables. Maybe not this year, but hopefully within a year or two. And this was really all completely overgrown, so it's been a lot of work to like move all the soil and get everything. Like building all these boxes was like the least amount of work of everything here. And I'm also growing some pretty nice, interesting stuff. Like just picking one at random. This mint I got here. Like a regular mint, contains some antidepressant compounds as well. Really good for someone like me who's recovering from depression. So I'm growing a lot of interesting stuff. Let's step inside into the studio. So here's the studio and my little office. I currently scanning a whole bunch of film. I got a stack of test prints over here to go through, and one of the major projects this spring was printing these three. So they're lith prints on some really old, like 60 years old, I'm guessing, agfa fiber paper. And I was showing these on the yearly open studio week that's going on in these parts every year, and yeah, they're really nice and they're for sale if you're interested. If you want something really unique to hang on your wall, this is it. Right, so finally let's move over to the studio, and I guess I've been saving the biggest news for last, but one major thing that happened this spring was that I got my first release out. So my first 2 tracks, first EP out on Beatport and Spotify and you name it. So yeah, really happy with that. I'll put the links in the description if you want to check it out. You can hear it playing in the background right now. And yeah, just one last thing. When I was doing the living room where we started this winter, I also took some time in between, you know, paint drying and all that stuff, to build these acoustic panels that you can see.
Oh, hi. While I'm waiting for the paint to dry in our living room that I've been working on for the last week or so, I figured I'd take the opportunity to build a couple of acoustic panels for my studio, since right now it's completely full of all the furniture from our living room. Right now it looks like this. So not too easy to get some music done in there. So I'm building something like this using fiberglass insulation, super cheap wood. Yeah, let me show you how.
Coming back to one of the previous videos where I did the acoustic measurements, I went ahead and built these panels and put them up. So right now all of them are in like broadband absorber mode. I'm also planning to tune some of these using wooden slats, but for now they're in broadband mode and works out really well.